Diamond, and I know you seen a post last week saying
Shameful.
that the LG interview is dropping on
Shame.
Tuesday.
Shame.
But something happened and we couldn't drop it.
Shame, shame,
And this
shame.
is like the third time he's been on the show.
Shame.
Third time is the charm.
It is.
And we are going to get it right. And we had to bribe him with food.
Yeah. You know, I'll take it. I appreciate it.
But speaking of food, is strip club wings the best wings?
Strip club wings is the best wings. Ooh, I think so. I think so. I think strip club wings do got the best wings. Yeah, I have a headcanon about chefs, actually. About the chefs in the strip club, right? They
Not just your strip clubs in general.
In general,
Okay.
yeah, in general, right? This is my headcanon, right? So you know how like Chef Ramsay, Gordon Ramsay and stuff like that, you know, they tried to go off for that, but they couldn't. They failed.
Yeah.
And then, you know, they still wanted to cook, you know what I'm saying? They didn't let that failure get to them, and then they were like, you know what? I'm still gonna cook. And they ended up going to the strip club, and they provide like some of the best food. That's my headcanon. That, you know, all the chefs that are like this top echelon of chefs, because they food be on point.
What's one thing you should not order at a strip club to eat?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Like, well, I'm just thinking in my, I'm thinking in my head, because let's say you're at the strip club, right?
Right.
A girl's
okay.
dancing.
Girl's dancing.
You're hoping she's clean, but let's say she smells like fish. You don't want to order shrimp.
I mean,
Then you don't know if the fish is. Then let's say you do order fish and you do smell a fishy smell. You don't know if it's the strippers or if it's the food.
it's a food, right? I mean, you can still get it. It depends on. It depends. That really does depend. But
That's my question.
I would say, you know what? It really
Perfect
does
10
depend.
serve steaks. I think
Oh, their steaks is fucking good.
it
Last
is.
I checked,
I never had it.
That should be good, bro.
But my thing, you over here trying to enjoy your steak. You trying to cut up your medium well steak.
Yeah.
Your loaded baked potato and the strippers dancing in front of your face.
They're not. That's a common misconception. You know, only comedians be doing that shit. Okay.
Right.
On some real shit.
So they don't dance while you eating?
They'll dance, but like it depends on where you're at. Like,
But not
you know
in
what I'm
your
saying?
face. They're on the stage.
They're on the stage. So
Like private dances, maybe.
private dancers maybe, but even then, like if they see that you eating, they'll leave you alone, like on some real shit. Or, you know, if you offer food, they'll
So
eat with
you hear that? The best way to keep a stripper away is to order a whole bunch of food.
That's if you don't want one.
That's
know?
basically what he's saying.
I'm
He said,
saying
if you
get
ain't
the
trying to tip
food.
the stripper,
Get you some food. I'm just saying, at least go in there with some money, because I'm tired of seeing people in there not going in there with like just going in there trying to look like this fucking window shopping. You know what I'm saying? This ain't like Rolling Oaks Mall and no shit. You know what I'm saying? You gotta.
I feel like I agree to a point. If you ain't got it and then you got booked to perform, I kind of get it. But then again, if you ain't got it, right, book yourself to perform at a strip club. So it's a double way. I kind of get it.
I guess that's different. You talking about art from an artist's perspective? That's different.
Well, before we get into more strip club chronicles, I want to know the beginning of LG,
Right.
which a lot of people don't know, or they might forgot
They might have forgotten.
that you were a Christian artist.
I was.
Were you still going by LG?
Yeah. I
So
started
LG, the Christian artist.
Yep.
What made you want to get into music in general? And
Just-
then what made you get into the Christian rap instead of doing like the typical gospel music, you know, that we
Right.
know?
Exactly. Well, because I got into music because I was just a love for music when I was little. I was just something that I was always into. Banging on pots and pans when I was little, at least according to what my mama was telling me when I was little. So yeah, banging on pots and pans, and then just, you know, seeing it at church. And it was just something that I just wanted to do since we were raised in church. That's what we, that's what we were doing. So I was like, okay, this is actually pretty cool. Unfortunately for me, it wasn't always like the best experience, because it was like, it was like, that kid that wants to do something and has a heart to do it, but they're always often like overlooked and stuff. Yeah, that was me.
Oh,
when it came down to.
I know. I got sat down
Yeah,
on the usher board.
I used to hate it.
But
there was
that's
a
another
drummer all
story.
the time. I used to like at the time when I was little. I think his name was like Brother Rogers or something like that, if I remember his name. He was a bald-headed dude, and he used to be in the military.
Yeah.
And he would come in there. He was like the main drummer. He would never show up for practice.
Yeah.
He would never or hardly ever show up for practice, because because of his job or something like that. And so they had this thing where like I would like on certain Sundays I would be happy, like, I'm thinking like he don't show up.
Yeah.
So one Sunday, like I remember specifically, like I was like, man, he didn't show up past like Sunday school. I was like, all right, cool. I was on the drums. I was ready to play. Yeah, I was about to get on there. And then lo and behold, like
He
right while they was
shows
doing the welcome, he shows up. This bald-headed dude shows up. I was like, man. And then I had to get up mid. And what made it even worse, y'all, was how he played. He played like a jazz musician.
Oh, wow.
So he would do the little ride cymbal right here.
Yeah.
So like every time, and I would make fun of him.
Even
every
doing shout
time.
music?
Same way. It was hilarious to me.
I want to know, because when you came out, during that time you came out doing Christian music, especially Christian hip hop. First off, it wasn't a lot of Christian hip hop artists at that time.
Right.
Lil Craig wasn't really out that much, and he wasn't big if he was. Kurt Franklin pushed it a little bit, but not that much. And you know, the way we grew up, they weren't down for Kurt Franklin.
It wasn't.
So how was it doing being a Christian hip hop artist at that time when it wasn't even like real light? It wasn't even that much. Maybe the truth was out about that time, maybe a little bit, but not really.
I think what it was during that time when I actually started was like in my teen years or something like that, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
Late teen, like maybe adult years, early adult years. And what happened was, like, I think that was where it was a little bit more accepted. And the church we was at a different church at the time. We was at non-denominational church at the time.
They're a little bit more accepting.
Yeah, there was way more receptive of it. And at the time, it was all right. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There was another artist at the time that was kind of like related to the other church we was at. That was doing he was doing more of the R&B side of it, like the more soulful singing and stuff like that. So it was just weird. Like I don't know. Like when I think of it now, it's like, bro, like it should be. I don't know why people just give it so much flack.
Yeah.
Because it's like it's supposed to be self-expression. You're supposed to be, if you're expressing yourself in a certain way.
I kind of get it because they associate that with just rap music. They don't see the Christian side of it. So I kind of get why they felt that way. I'm not saying it was right, but I kind of get it.
Yeah, and I get it, but I was like, at the same time, it's like, if you knew what the person was about and what it was for, you would understand. Like, even from a creative perspective, like, and that was one of the reasons why I stepped away from church, because it was always, it's like a social club. You know what I'm saying? It's always a social club. It's always, you have to have a certain look, you have to have a certain title, you have to have a certain, like, money, all of that stuff. Like, it was like a social status, and it really wasn't about what they said it was about. And the way we fell out with our church, man, it was horrible. Yeah. And so, like, it really shocked. Like, I understand now why people don't want to be bothered with when it comes to church, going to church or being visited with church, which is ironic now because my mother is she's a minister now. You know what I'm saying?
But it's at a different church though.
Different church, yeah, of course.
You can always go to a different church, find what you're looking for.
True. And
still serve the Lord. Because I know, so what happened to, she, I feel like that's what happens sometimes when we put our faith in man instead of the Lord. Because that happened to someone I know. She was at church. She went to church faithfully. She was like over the sunshine band, over this, over that. And then she saw this guy that she liked. She thought that was going to be her husband. And then he ended up marrying someone else. Like, I don't think they even dated or anything, but she thought God told her that. But I'm like, that's what happens when you do everything for man and not for God. Because I feel like God will put the right people in your place when instead of you trying to chase this, like you trying to chase a position, chase that. Because a lot of people do that. They chase these positions, but God didn't tell you you're going to be a first lady. God didn't tell you you're going to be a pastor. You told yourself that because you thought you were going to make millions. Yeah,
or maybe you just thought you were led to that. Because that was the same thing with my mother. She thought she believes that she was called to be a minister.
That's different when you can tell when you're being called and when you're not being called. Because people who are called to do stuff, they do it for the right reasons. Like, I can tell, like you said, your mom was called to be a minister. If I go to your mom and say, hey, I need prayer, she most likely will pray for me.
Right.
But there's ministers out here, you say I need prayer, the first thing they say, I'm not that kind of minister. What do you mean you're not that kind of minister? So there's a difference between being called and you doing it because you want that title.
You're right. And then there's also the problem with people, like I said, with the social aspect. And that was the biggest problem, right, was one of the biggest things that really kind of like irked me was being taken advantage of. You know how our family was. First one's there, last one's to leave. Yeah. And if you're going to pay anybody, we was like around a prosperity teacher at the time, and I have no issue with that. Like I have no issue with prosperity teachers, people that preach on,
That's not the church you grew up at, right?
that was because we grew up into so the one that we were familiar with that I met you at was Kojic.
Yeah, but that's not
'Cause
the
we were
church
there.
you grew up at.
That was part of that was the first half. And then
No, I mean like the one you fell out is not the one you grew up at.
the one we fell out with was the second half of the
Yeah,
one.
but you didn't really go up there,
Grew up
so it
there,
makes it
yeah.
easier to like kind of leave.
Kind of.
I kind of get it because like the church I grew up at, I'm still there. They didn't really do me wrong, but sometimes I just feel like I want to try another church.
Yeah.
I still want to stay Kojic, but I want to try another church.
Mm-hmm.
But it makes it hard when you go up there. Your family members are there. Your grandparents go up there. Sometimes
Right,
it makes it
everything.
harder to leave.
Right, because everything is connected there. I get it. Because I think the first time,
And then I don't want to be known as a church hopper. Sometimes you get that.
yeah, that bad connotation.
Especially if you stay in the same little like Kojic thing, and like, oh, you just hopping from.
And
Because I've seen that, and I'm like, maybe they're just finding, there's no perfect church, but maybe they're finding something that's perfect for them.
that'll fit for them, yo. And then Kojic, boy, Kojic something else. I mean, it's gotten a little bit better now, but Kojic is something else. Man, y'all couldn't wear no pants. Y'all,
It's still the same way. The only time it's different is up north where my aunt lives, only because it's cold. If it wasn't cold up there, it'd be the same way. But because it's cold, they kind of let it slide. But I'm not worried too much about the pants. I'm not worried too much about the dress part. Yeah, that's a little strict.
Yeah.
But I'm not worried about that too much.
It's
just other stuff sometimes.
It's the way they they interpret certain
Is
things.
it? Oh, and some of the teachings that they do.
Yeah, that's
like,
what gets me.
So I saw a post about the tithe. Some pastor made a post about tithing, and I had to Google it and let them know what the Bible really says, because tithing is 10% of what you have. Not only is 10% of what you have, it's only once a year.
Yep.
It's not every month. It's once a year.
Mm-hmm.
Just
It was once a year, and
it's
was
what you
also
had.
What you had. So if you
Because
had,
it's not just money. You had goat, sheep.
yeah, if depending on your status in the with the children
Exactly.
individual. Yep. I remember that. Boy, people
But I
used to
feel
hate
like
that.
that 10% sometimes is them clocking what you got.
What do you mean?
So let's say I make $1,000
Okay.
a month. And I give them my 10%, and they know what the 10% is. Let's say they don't know how much I made, but you can kind of guesstimate. If they giving 10%, I can go to Google or Chat GPT and say, hey, someone gave me this amount. What is the 10% of it? Whatever. You can kind of guesstimate how much you make.
Right.
And then some churches do ask for your W-2 and all that. Some churches do that.
Well, I know one church I was at. They asked for, you got tax, like if you gave to the church, you had tax information to kind of like put that on your taxes.
Well, that's different.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's different. No, that's different. No,
That's
some
the only
people.
thing
That's different. No. Our church did that too. Tell you how much you give every year. No, that's different.
Okay.
No, I'm not talking about that.
But yeah.
So
but that was the other, you're talking about the other way around.
the other way around.
The
They
other way
asking
around.
you
With
give
your-
us your pay stub.
Yeah,
So we
what
can
you-
make
what
sure
you-
you giving your 10%.
Bro, you ain't got. I'm good.
So you start off as a Christian artist. You got to fall in love with the church, and that's when you're like, you know what? I can't do Christian music anymore, which is crazy, because I felt like that's just me personally, that you could have, told your story and continue to do it. But I get it. When you're hurt, you don't want to do music
That.
right now. That's the last thing on your mind.
I didn't want to do that.
So you switch gears, because most people don't know either.
Yes.
You're a producer as well, so you produce some of your music.
Yes,
You
I
switch gears, and now you're doing the gaming producing before you get into gaming.
Yeah.
So you start
I
taking.
was doing it. Well, correction. I was doing it while I was producing, like for Christian. I was also doing it gaming stuff. I was just also.
but you just wasn't
expanding.
as much. So you did a little bit of gaming with your Christian music. So then you started doing 4/4 after you quit after you put a halt to the Christian music.
Yeah.
And then you started doing the producing for the gaming. Do you feel like it's harder to do gaming, to like use game samples than it is to use a regular sample, or just to do like regular producing?
Gaming samples.
Gaming beats is not really technically like a normal beat that you can just rap to. It's just like sounds to make stuff fun.
Right. It
Like dun
depends.
dun 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 dun. It's not a beat you rap to. It's just a.
Because it's not. It wasn't originally made that way.
It wasn't.
It was made for you to listen to or to kind of
Get
just vibe out
excited.
to, or kind of match that energy of the environment that you're
Yeah.
playing in. So sampling it can be difficult.
Yeah.
But it depends on what you're sampling and how you're gonna do it. Because when I did mine, I didn't really sample at first. Well, I would sample a little bit, but I would take it, learn it by ear,
And then kind of
and
replay
just
it.
replay it or reimagine it in a way or stretch it out. So
But that's one way you can get around with it. A lot of people don't know because Manny Fresh said it, and then another big producer said it too, that if you recreate it, it's interpretation. That's how you get around with paying the people and all that too.
But even when I did it like that, it was still done. It's also done as a respect.
Yeah.
Like I said, I didn't mean it as any, I don't do it as to steal from them.
Yeah.
I did it because I liked it, and I was like, yo, it'll sound really good in this style.
Yeah.
This would be really great if I did, say, a sonic beat from this song, chop it up and make it a sample out of it.
Yeah.
That would be cool. I like that. And maybe other people will enjoy it too.
Now, do you ever think so you know how Sonic is known for fast, and then you think about juking music. So you ever think Sonic juking beats? Do you ever think of, you know what I mean? You correlate.
That's a good idea, actually.
But you so you know what I mean? You correlate different video games to different styles of music and all that. So when you think of Houston Chopped in School, what video game do you think would come to your mind? What slow down, Chopped in School, you gotta take your time to beat the game. It's not one of them games that's fast paced.
That's a good question because that's a tough one. I would say a puzzle game, maybe something that would
like Tetris,
something
type?
Tetris type would probably work because you get to use more of it. You get to take more of your time, even though that speeds up too sometimes. But you're still you're using more of your brain there. That's a good question though. I never would have thought about it like that. You good?
Oh, what video game makes you think of the West Coast music or East Coast?
A lot of man, West Coast music would be good. Saints Row, the older Saints Row when they did what was the one?
I thought you were gonna say the typical GTA.
Saints Row GTA was another one. Saints Row was good. GTA was it San Andreas? Was perfect.
Yeah.
That they did that one perfect.
Well, besides that, I mean other games besides the typical GTA, because you can think of GTA and think of Houston, Texas.
They need to make a GTA based on Texas. That would be crazy.
What would you want in it? What would you want to see in it?
They need to do GTA mixed with what's that game? Def Jam Fight for New York. That'd be crazy. Make a Def Jam with Texas artists or a fighting game with Texas artists and stuff
with
like
Zero
that.
On them.
With Zero, then we got Trader Truth, and then you got Chameleonaire, Paul Wall, and then you have
well, it have to be Michael Watts versus Screw. So this is my thing. So I had this debate with a friend.
Here we go.
Someone, so I made this post a long time ago, who is the freestyle king of Texas? They won't keep saying Lil Flip, Lil Flip. And someone on the post said someone crowned him the freestyle king. But I went back.
You went back,
and listened to his freestyles on Rap City Basement versus other Houston artists. Now, Houston ain't known for freestyling like that.
Yeah.
We ain't the best. But there was some other artists way better than him. And I'm like, who sat down and crowned this guy the freestyle king?
I think it's the look too. That, some people just go for the look, because I know a lot of when it came down to especially older Houston, it was always that slow down main hold up.
But they all sound like that.
He was, that's crazy. I don't know. Who's the other ones though? I want to know who the other ones that were better than Flip. I'm curious.
On the Rap City Basement ones, that's all.
Yeah.
Comedian was not comedian. Mike Jones was a little bit better.
Who?
Paul Wall was not known as a freestyler, but he made a little bit more sense than
Paul Wall,
Lil Flip, and then someone else, and Lil Kiki.
Lil Kiki, yeah,
killed it, and I think that's the only ones I looked up. I didn't look up all Houston. I just looked up a few just to see the difference in the freestyle styles and stuff. Who crowned him to be the freestyle king?
Yeah,
he had that mixtape. I bumped it. Don't get me wrong, but someone else could have been. And then the person I was debating with, they're maybe because he was known. I said, you can't tell me everybody was not singing no Chameleonaire and Paul Wall. Big singers.
Yeah, that was.
You can't tell me.
What?
You can't tell me they were not singing that back then. They didn't want me. Now I'm hot. They all on me.
Still tipping? What?
But Still Tipping is more like a Slim Thug. You're still Slim Thug.
Yeah.
So you can't tell me they were not bumping other Southside. Come on. So it's not because he was big. I get it. He did go mainstream.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he
compared
did.
to the other ones. But Chameleonaire did with the Right and Dirty.
He
So
did.
you cannot tell me, come on,
I don't. That's
because
weird.
he was big.
It's all about. I think other people have said it too on the show too. It's all about the perspective too.
Yeah.
I think that's probably what it is. And when it comes down to different artists, it's always sometimes about perspective, about what other people see at that moment.
Yeah.
And then that's when people take it and run with it. Like I said, when it came down, I think one of the biggest hits that I remember from Lil Flip, because I know he had some good ones too.
Game Over.
Game Over was the big one.
Then he got sued.
Oh yeah,
Talk about that.
that one. And then what also got me too was Swing with Trey the Truth. Man, I hate that they made another version because of the whole copyright with the Michael Jackson joint. I don't care.
With the whole with the what?
The Michael Jackson joint that they use for it.
Oh yeah.
I don't care. That's still the best version. I don't care what nobody say.
Producers.
Please.
Producers.
Oh.
Please. And artists. Protect yourself.
Please.
If you're gonna sample something, get all the necessary paperwork. Cause that happened with High Strung. He had to take his whole album down.
Which one?
I want to say it was Life. Don't quote me on it. I'll look it up later.
I don't think it was Life, because Life is still up, ain't it?
That's the one. Is that the one you had to beat
Yes,
on?
yeah.
No, it wasn't Life.
Yeah.
It was the one before Life that he did.
Okay.
So he did an album. I don't think it's called Life, but he had to take it down because of some of the samples he used. The beat maker he used said they got it cleared.
Didn't do it. So yeah, you gotta protect yourself.
So
man. Protect yourself at all times.
no, it was Life. No, it wasn't Life. Life is still up.
Yeah,
it's the one before Life. I forgot which one it was. But
Okay.
yeah, he had to get it taken down.
Because Life is up and Rose from the Concrete is up.
It was
right
the
now.
one before Life. I forgot the name of it, but it
Okay.
would come to my head. But that's sad that you have to you put your hard work, your blood, sweat, and tears in a project, you put it out just to take it down because you thought your beat makers did their job.
Right. No, you got to do that. You got to do a better job with that. Like, you got to clear the sample, or like at least try to find a way to like maneuver around that or something. Like, you gotta do something better than that. Like, I get it. Everybody, like right now, I know the music industry is kind of a little bit of a greedy spot.
Yeah.
You know, everybody wants their little cut. At times, I get it, but at some point, you still have to like, you know how to move. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's why I try to, at least even when I do my remixes, I always try to like link back. Hey, this is to the original, because if my stuff does pop off, hey, boom. One of my biggest actual remixes, because I also kind of went the route of what's his name? Sway, the remix god.
Yeah. I like him.
I like his stuff too. I did this song from Amazing World of Gumball, the cartoon, and there was like this little sing-songy part called the lunch song that Gumball was singing while he was like making this weird ass lunch.
Yeah.
And I was like, yo, this would be a dope ass song to do.
So
like,
you made it into
I
like
made it like a different version, like a little reggae dance hall type joint, and it was fun. Like it took off, but like I said, I think it's like on my YouTube, it's like at 400 something views right now, 400 something K.
Congratulations.
400 something K. I was like, yo, this is crazy. I just, like I said, it was just fun.
Yeah.
Like, I did it because it was fun. It was no disrespect.
Yeah.
I think even the creator noticed it at one point. The creator of the show noticed it. And
that's dope.
And they was like, yeah, I wish we had more like song type parts in it. It was like I said, I just did it because it was fun.
Yeah.
You know, so like I said, it's like a lot of the people that are doing the music stuff right now, I've noticed that they're doing it solely for the money, and I'm like, bro, just
Not for the love.
Yeah, get creative. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I always tell people, like, if like with the whole cancellation and all of this stupid shit that's going on with social media, if that were to happen, like, would you still do this stuff? You know what I'm saying? That's been my thing. Is like, that's one of the reasons why I can always fall back on music and the things that I enjoy doing, is because this is something that's been in me. You know what I'm saying? Like, so.
I want to know, so you know back when mixtapes was a thing.
Oh man.
You know, Lil Wayne killed it.
That was an honor.
With his no ceilings. But you know, back when they did mixtape, they used industry beats. They used a song that's out and just freestyle on it. But nowadays, artists want custom beats, their own beats for mixtape. They don't want to use beats that are already out. And I know because I forgot what big producer said it, but they said the reason artists was getting away with not paying their producers by saying, hey, I want this beat. They say you charge me $100 for the beat. And I say, oh no, it's for a mixtape. I'm not selling it. Yeah. So you have to give them the beat for free because I'm not selling it. And then they end up giving the beat for free. But then next minute, you know, the mixtape's on Spotify and all that.
Yeah, no.
You know, no one's go to that FIP anymore and all that.
Yeah, I think that FIP shut
down. So all
down.
mixtapes and stuff is like on Spotify, iTunes and all that. But it's like, you said it was a mixtape.
Yeah. That's weird.
So what are your thoughts on like artists, producers, you know, losing money that way.
Producers should have just stood 10 toes for that. Like,
I still would have charged you.
Yeah, exactly.
Still, yeah. Or not, it's a custom beat.
Yeah, custom beat. Charge it like just charge like you would normally charge and just pay up. Like artists pay your people, man. Like it's not hard, bro. Like if you got to save up money, do it, bro. Like just. Hey, if you got to put half down and then half later, you know what I'm saying? Like, I think that's what it is. Like, a lot of artists is, are right now getting exposed for being lazy, man. Like,
yeah.
Like, lazy and they
I'm not an artist, but one thing I kind of hate is getting beats off the website. Only because, like, the website doesn't show you how many people bought that beat.
Oh, yeah.
How many people downloaded it. How many people bought it exclusive. How many people bought it least.
Yeah.
I better just customize my beat. I know nobody have it.
Fair.
It's my beat.
It depends.
My idea.
It depends on who you're talking to too. Like also just building the rapport with the producer, because in a lot of cases, if some producers have a certain site, because I know there's a producer friend that I know of. I think his name is Akitak Uzu. He's somebody that I know that he's from Memphis. He has his own. I think there's a site I think called Track Train Beat Track. I forgot what the name of the site is. And that's where he could sell his beats from, something similar like that. But I think it'll be marked as sold, either marked as sold if it is, like completely.
That's dope.
It'll be marked as sold or completely taken off the site altogether. If memory serves me correctly.
I always wanted to, because I can't think of his name, but he's a producer down here. You probably know him. He does beat tapes, but he likes to put his beat tapes on Spotify and iTunes and YouTube. And I'm like, anyone can just. Well, even on YouTube, people can still grab your beat, download it for free.
Yeah.
I'm like, anyone can just download it. You put your beats out there on a beat tape.
Yeah. It's weird. It's a mixture of like, hey, I just want my stuff out there.
Yeah.
And like if it depends, because I think I've done that actually. I've done mixtapes and put my mixtapes on YouTube. Mine's were more video game related with me and my homeboy Zero. But I think honestly, I mean, you need all the exposure you can get. So YouTube is definitely one of the biggest places to do it.
It is.
Spotify is another one. So I'm like putting it in there would work. You just probably have to put some contingencies in place to say, hey, look, if you are getting it from YouTube, if you do, or if you want to get something from me, this track from me, you can hit me up at this, that, and the third. And of course, there's going to be some idiots that's not going to listen to that or not want to do it, but that's they're just going to have to be stuck with the quality that they get.
I've seen it where, back at Epic Bar, they used to have those
Epic Bar.
Well, not just Epic Bar, other places. They used to, they have it where beat makers can sell their beats. They play a little bit of the beat. Then if you want like it, you can buy it. I've seen it where beat makers playing their beat and artists literally have their phone out recording the beat.
Yo.
I'm like, dude, it's going to come out choppy and crappy because you're using a cell phone to record the beat. Unless they're going to find a producer to try to recreate it, but it's not going to sound the same.
Yeah.
You might as well just go buy it.
Buy it.
The artist, and then the producers never said how much the beat is. So you just automatically assuming it's too high.
Bro,
not one did they say, oh, it costs this much. They just played the beats and then say, if you want to buy it, come see me.
It's not hard. Like, honestly, it's
they'll
these
work
artists,
with you, most likely.
These artists, like a lot of the artists, and how do I put this? A lot of the artists because a lot of artists that I've talked with too they're pretty cool. I ain't got to worry about too much of them. But I've seen some other artists too that'll act shady. I'm like, bro, it's not that fucking hard, bro. You can't sit up here, especially if you over here talking about, oh, I got money, this, that, and the third in your songs. Why are you stealing from people? These people work hard, just like, and then when that part, and then they'll be the first ones, the same artists crying when they get snubbed from the top 10 list. Okay, yeah, I got real quiet in here, but it's okay.
No,
I agree. You be all right. They'll be all right. But you be the first one sitting there. I should have been on the top 10. I should have been on this list. I should have been on that list. But you not putting in the work. You over here stealing, thieving. You doing all of this stuff.
When I first started U3, I used to play music, and producers used to call into my show all the time and say, "Oh, he didn't pay for his beat. That's between you and the artist. I'm just playing the song. I can't make him pay for a beat. I didn't know.
Hey,
I don't even know who you are." Exactly. But it happens. So you're doing the producing with the gamings, and you're doing the gaming. Then, what made you transition into being a DJ? Then?
I was actually at St. Philip's at the time, and it was actually just a way to be sociable, a little bit more sociable. Because I remember one of the first times doing it, I had
did it for the opposite way, not to be sociable, to hide my face, to do it at home in my PJs.
I was actually I did it at. I was at St. Philip's in the student center, and I remember bringing my laptop in, and I had this like makeshift that like the little plastic turntable, thing where they had like the stuff all welded together and stuff like that, the low, medium, high, and stuff. Like thought I was doing something, and it was just a fun time. Like, and I would do it every so often. But so I would just it was just something that I added to my tool belt. Just as another notch in my tool belt. So like I could produce, like DJ shouldn't be too hard. You know what I'm saying? So, I just add that as another notch in the tool belt. And then I ended up making it as a job like later on, when I decided to, since I was already doing YouTube, I was like, instead of me working a job that I hated, which was being a janitor, I was like, fuck it. I'm just going to go ahead and just if I'm going to work a job, I might as well work a job I enjoy doing. So I became a DJ back in 2017 in the strip clubs.
What made you want to do strip club DJing instead of just regular club DJs?
It was different. Like I knew a lot of people that were doing show club DJing, and it was just like, it to me, it was like a lot to get into. From what I saw, it was like everybody and their mama that I knew was doing DJing or something of that sort, and trying to get in there seemed like a little bit of a stretch for me. I'm like, what is going on? Like, I'm over here trying to like, and then when I did get called to DJ, it was like, do you have this? Do you have that? And I'm over here just starting out, so I'm like, no. I didn't know I had needed all of that.
Yeah.
So strip clubs I was like, you know what? Let me try this. This is different. I'm gonna try it. Why not? And it's like a mixture of a party DJ, but like it's also like the radio DJ kinda. Yeah. It's like that mix between depending on like the shift that you work and stuff like that. So I started off day shift and got used to everything, and then I was like, you know what?
Day shift or night shift?
Night shift.
Really? Even on weekdays?
Night shift. I don't care.
Do you still go to church?
No.
Okay. So I was going to ask you, like, what do your church members think?
I don't know. They not putting no money in my pocket. I don't know.
Like, even though they don't put money in my pocket, I still, like, people are talking.
Yeah, I know
they
people.
Still judge. They say something. Even if I don't participate, even if I don't drink, even if I just go to the club, DJ, and leave, they still going to be like, well, you DJ'd at the club.
And I got paid for it.
So it happens.
It is what it is. Of like, But no, honestly, I like the night shift. It's a lot more fun. Day shift it can be fun. There were times where I have done, like when I first started out, like it was pretty cool. Like, but sometimes like when you're dealing with the clubs and stuff like that, it's a little bit different. You got to deal with like, the management, what they want to hear, especially like during the day shift. They don't want to hear the same type of like, the party's a little bit different. Yeah. During the day. It's more mellow. More mellow. You got like you'll start with like, this is like when I started, I started doing like, there was a manager, he wanted specifically like the 80s type stuff. So you were playing stuff like from Vice City. You wanted like the old stuff from like, it was sounding like, what was that? Yeah, like Grand Theft Auto Vice City type stuff, like the 80s music type things. You know what I'm saying? 80s music. Tears for Fears, Everybody Wants to Rule the World type joint. She's a maniac type stuff. Type stuff. That type of shit. And then as the day goes on, then that's when you will kind of shift over a little bit. But then night shift is more of like what you will see in the party, what you'll see in the music videos and stuff like that. There's still some older songs that I will still play. I've had
throw it in. Well, there's always a lot of old school booty songs that's gonna get the club
exactly
popping.
Of course.
You can never go wrong with got people coming.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, bands of anything. Jubilant, and you can mix that in with like a fucking
anything Trick Daddy, anything. What's his name? I was just singing in my
B King is
not
another
just
one.
B King, but the original one that got sued for his album cover.
Two Live Crew.
Two Live Crew. You can never go wrong with the Two Live Crew.
Yeah, that's a good little throwback classic.
You can never go wrong
Can't go wrong
with
that. Can't go wrong. And then I also throw in some of the local artists too. So I'm one of the few DJs
Birthday
that actually do.
Easy.
Birthday, Legwork, BMF.
Anytime it's somebody's birthday, I'm quick to throw that in. That and Jubilee. You can always mix Jubilee, with the original song. Birthday with the original song, They won't even know the difference. They just be twerking to it.
BMF is one of my favorites too. It's a nice little vibe to it. Got a nice little bounce to it. Yeah. But yeah, like some of the artists, like I'll be trying to tell some of the artists, like Cool Whip is another one I play with King Kali and Sosa.
I don't think I know that one.
It's a nice. Damn, I have to show it to you. Once I'll show it to you, you be like, oh, okay, that one.
Now, so you doing the producing, right? You producing, and then, huh?
I said producing. I'm agreeing with you. Go ahead.
Yo, so you producing, and then, but you just doing it. You doing the game producing, and then you producing for yourself. You doing it for fun.
Yeah.
How was it when you was like, you know what? I'm gonna finally ship some beats out. You ship some beats out, and then last minute, because this album was done.
Yeah.
And last minute, High Strung was like, I'm gonna use your beat and make a song last minute. How was it?
It felt good actually. It felt really good to actually have somebody reach out to me. Still one of my favorite songs on the piece on a project. You know,
you're biased.
Of course, it's mine. But no, that album was actually really good. Honestly,
it was on a Life album, right?
Yeah, Life album. Yes.
Yeah.
I actually, like I said, I liked it. The only thing, I wish I was there to like kind of give like more to be in that creative process. For the song, because the way when he did the hook a little early.
Yeah.
Because the way I have my beat set, I know when the hook is. Yeah. So I was like, he put the hook like I think about a few bars earlier than I wanted it. I was like, but you know what? All right, hey, I'm not gonna be mad.
Yeah,
I actually have another production credit.
Okay.
Actually, I don't know if you remember this name. You remember Tony Kaku J?
The black boy with the
light skinned black boy with the thing on his face. Yeah, Japanese.
He doesn't live here anymore.
Yeah, he's in Japan.
Yeah.
He was originally from Japan. I actually have a track with him I did prior.
Nice, yeah.
So your boy got international pull.
Look at you.
So we actually talked to him about doing a.
I feel like some people don't, just because you local, they feel like you can't like fangirl or like get excited over local artists just because they local. But like the other day, so I was at the Minor Music Show.
Yeah.
And I saw Soul Set and Tone, and I low-key fangirled. I was like, OMG. I've never met him in person. Never, ever. This was my first time meeting him in person. First time saying hello. We took a picture together. I'm trying to get him on the show. Come on, Soul San Antonio.
Come on, Sosa.
Come on. SOANANTONE.
That's me. Yeah.
Man, I was about to spit some bars to him. I was gonna say, man, I was sitting here by Lil Sin and watch the song, so young nigga watch it. I was gonna spit some bars to him. Like, I do listen to your music.
Yeah, his flow. I love his flow.
And he has a new album out. Haven't had a chance to listen to it. I've been busy, but I'm gonna take a time. Maybe tomorrow on my way to work, play it. He has a new album out, but he's underrated. But he's one of the artists that put music out and just like, I did it. He don't really promote it like that. He's like, I dropped something. I get it. Some people like that. IQ's like that too. He just put music out.
I haven't heard that name in a minute. IQ. Whoa, I forgot.
He dropped the album like a few months ago. Not too. Yeah, he's another one. He drops the album just like, I did it.
Oh, bro, you gotta at least promote it a little bit more than that. But yeah.
But you know, some people, when you great, you ain't got to. Other people do it for you. You know.
That's fair. That's fair. But at the same time, you still gotta. There's still a level of work you have to do.
True, but some people don't want that spotlight too. Like he probably one of them artists that I know I'm great. I don't want to be like that. I just want to drop music because I love it, not for the.
Not for fame.
You just do it. No, so now
I agree.
Strip club DJ.
Mm-hmm.
The wildest thing that's happened at a strip club.
Oh, I got several.
With a stripper, not with an owner, not with a promoter, a stripper.
Oh Lord, man, why you gotta take? Cause I'm gonna talk about shit.
I want to know the wildest thing that happened in a strip club with a stripper.
With a stripper, okay, this is funny because
like you see a tampon fall out or something.
Oh, I've seen that. I saw a string one time. That was funny, but I did have one. I didn't. I told her about it. She fixed it, but no, this was funny. Huh? I didn't pull it. No,
you know you want to pull it.
No, ma'am. I don't. No, I'm not rude like y'all. I don't do that. I don't do that.
Guideline want to pull it.
You know what I'm saying? No.
Look, he's like, hell no. I ain't getting close to that.
Pull it and money come out. No, just playing.
Coins.
That's
no, it's gonna be powder dust.
That's where my ones went. God dang. But no, so one of the craziest things was this one dancer. She was like new.
Yeah.
And a lot of girls tell me stuff, and they're like, "Oh, well, I don't get down like that." I'm like, "Hey, you know, I don't get down a certain type of way." I'm like, "All right, cool, I respect it." Some like months later go by, and she was like, I was looking for her. We was working together that same night, and I was like looking for her because it was about to be her turn. So I'm like, "Dang, where's this girl go?" Oh, yeah, that's right. I saw her walking with a customer to the VIP. I said, "Okay, hey, baby, you about to be next?" I walk over there. I say, "Hey, you about to be next?" Did you know I just saw this girl down here on her knees, bobbing and weaving like Floyd Mayweather? she was bobbing, bro.
It's always the ones that say they don't get down like that. I've never done it.
I don't.
It's my
This is
first
my.
time.
I'm not. What's the,
It's my first time.
I normally don't do this. I usually don't do this type
But
shit.
while they tie their hair up.
Right. I don't do this, but nah, get the dog, stop playing.
If you need me to.
Nah,
That's crazy.
I was just like, bro, just be real with
you
yourself.
say something?
I'm
Well,
like,
there's nothing you can
I just
say,
like
but,
there was nothing
like,
I could say about that. I was just
was
like,
she shocked?
this is when I was
What'd
like,
she do? What'd she say to you? Was she shocked?
she was shocked. She ain't say nothing too much after that. But I'm just like, baby, you ain't got to lie to me. You know what I'm saying?
Is that really a thing, sex at the strip clubs?
Not as often as you think it is.
Okay.
It can happen, but it's not as often as you think.
You think OnlyFans and AI is going to replace strip clubs slowly?
It will, if, and this is the big if the dancers don't fix their shit.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
Say it.
I'm gonna say it again. AI will replace you, ladies. OnlyFans will replace you if you don't fix your shit.
You know, Amazon already did that. You know, those Amazon workers that were on strike, I forgot what state and city they were in. They were on strike because they wanted more pay.
Mm-hmm.
And not Elon Musk. Who's over Amazon? I can't think of his name.
Bezos?
Bezos, yeah. Jeff Bezos was like, fine, I'll get the robots to do it. Replace them with robots. $7 a day, and they don't call in sick. Oh, you going to protest? That's fine. We don't need you no more.
Right, get them out.
So like you said, so what do they need to get together?
What do they need to get together? One,
or at least the top three things
the
that
top three
strippers
things
need to get together.
Your look back. Get your look back. Okay. Define
get
your
back
look.
in the gym.
Get back in the gym. Like you know what? Even if you're in progress, that's fine. But get your look back. Start looking better. You know what I'm saying? Start having a better look about yourself. Getting clothes that fit your body type.
Okay. Yeah.
So like there's some girls that are, I want to wear this because this is cute. But just because something's cute, it doesn't mean it's going to fit your body type, right? If you are a bigger girl, you don't need to be wearing string bikinis. I'm just saying, like, I don't, unless you're the right type of thick, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, no, definitely not. You don't need to be doing that. You know what I'm saying? The biggest one is your attitude and personality. That is the biggest thing that I've had to deal with over the course of years, especially with black dancers. Because I get it. Sometimes, you think that everything's, racially motivated against you. I understand. I get it. But at some point,
you're not an ATL.
You're not. And even if you were, chill the fuck out. You know what I'm saying?
But even in ATL, you got to compete.
You do. You got to make sure.
Because strippers down here is not doing all those tricks and stuff that ATL doing.
They're not. And then they don't even present themselves in a way, like learning how to present themselves on a pole. Sometimes, like, they'll be lazy on the stage. And, they expect you to, like, throw money at them. And it's like, no, you're not giving me a reason to throw money at you.
Yeah.
Like before I got into the strip clubs and I will see music videos of girls, those types of girls, even though I know about the video vixen stuff, I've seen the behind the scenes stuff. Like, they at least presented themselves in a certain way. They knew how to get your attention. And a lot of people, like, they're just thinking that, well, this one guy, I just sat with him like this. We're at a table. We sat and talked, and he gave me $500. Baby, that's a fucking unicorn. Okay, though that's a few and far between. Yeah. You gotta work to get to that. You know what I'm saying? So if you're not presenting yourself in a way where guys want to spend money on you, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. You can't get mad when it's slow or when guys don't like you, and you're also not taking advantage of social media. Nowadays, you need social media right now. Because when people come to the clubs, they don't know you.
You said that you play a lot of the underground artists in the strip club.
As much as I can.
Who do you think is up next?
That's a good question.
And who do you think would be the next R&B for Mob?
Ooh,
you see how you used everybody to get his song number one?
And he did a good job.
And he didn't even take no one for a feature, man. I would have did a remix and at least took like the best top two and did a remix and put him on the remix.
Yeah.
Oh, that would have been so dope.
That would be crazy.
Or did a remix from each like little city.
A city version.
Like a down south remix with like a Texas remix with someone from like one San Antonio, like a West
Houston,
Coast
like
remix, an East Coast remix.
So you remember when kind
of like the Welcome to Atlanta?
That one, and then also you remember Raise Up when PD Pablo came out with Raise Up,
Oh,
and
yeah.
they did a North Carolina, and then they did an all cities version.
Exactly.
Okay,
That's
they
what
should
he
do
should've
that.
done.
He should
He's
do.
had the best one for a feature, man.
Right, the all cities version. So like have some from like the big cities, from San Antonio, that's a big
Yeah.
city. From one from Austin. Have some people, because there's what's his name from Austin? Bars Robinson, if I remember correctly, from Austin. He's another one. You got some artists from Waco. You got some artists from, of course, you got the Dallas Fort Worth area.
He should have, but
You know,
But who do you think is coming up next?
who do I think?
Your top 3.
From that's really dependent, because right now you won't put me in a spot. I'm gonna go.
I am.
You are, and I don't like it.
Who's your top? Who's on your Westmore?
Oh,
Since that's been the
I'm not
topic
doing
of this.
I'm
Who's
not
your
doing that.
Westmore?
We're not,
San
who's coming up?
Antonio?
I'm gonna go back up. We gonna back up. Who am I looking at right now? Vision needs to make some more music.
Okay.
Vision needs to make some more music. I really want him to make some more music. I want to put him on this list, but I need him to make more music. A&B Easy is another one. I like A&B. A&B's
I like
good.
his versatile, how you can do street and club music. Not too many artists can do both.
I want to say the combo of Lil Yoda and Kevin McGee is good.
Okay.
That's a good one. That's a good combo.
I like Yoda because of his growth.
He grew a lot. What is his name? Sway Jack.
Okay.
Sway Jack
yeah.
is another. He's good. He's got some good club joints. You know what I'm saying? Like
I told him that every podcast, he's the topic of discussion. I saw him recently because his daughter goes to my school. I'm like, every podcast, the topic of discussion. You on the phone or who you on the phone with? I did it walking by. I forgot where I was going to. He's like, man, you hear that? Every podcast, I'm the topic of discussion, man. But it's true.
He be putting out some stuff like
it is true. So what are your thoughts on that? Because you've been a promoter.
Yeah.
You a DJ.
Yeah.
And of course a producer. So you seen and you've been an artist. So you've seen all sides of it.
Mm-hmm.
What is your thoughts on that? Because he has a point. Yeah. When y'all bring these big name artists, you need to be introducing to people that are popping.
Agreed.
But the big name artist, but the promoters also got a point too. You also got to be that artist where a artist come down and say, "Hey, I heard Lil Yoda's down here. Let me go check him out."
Yeah, agreeable.
I agree with both sides. Same.
I agree with both sides. My problem with this is you also kind of lean. I do got to lean more to the artist side, because. Just because the big artists, they hear a lot of artists every single day.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So just because that person sounds good, that's they vibing in that moment. You know what I'm saying?
And then they're gonna remember.
Then they're not. So it's really up to the promoter to put that out there, and also the artist too got to link in to do I agree with I know I think we kind of talked about this the last time.
Yeah.
A&B Easy mentioned about with the DJs.
Yeah.
Linking in with the DJs. Bro, just go in there and start linking with DJs, bro. Like, I can't tell y'all, y'all could talk to me. Hello, y'all could talk to me. I can play your joints in the strip club.
But you also got to think about not all DJs are receptive. Like you. Okay, you can play the music at a strip club. That's cool.
Yeah.
But artists, you got to think about, the bigger name DJs like 007, That Boy Play.
Shout out to
Are
him.
they more receptive to playing us? The local? Think about it.
Depends.
You might.
They might not. Yeah.
And then even if they are, tell me at a normal Saturday club night, they might play your song.
Yeah.
Let's see that song called Turn It Up. They might play your song Turn It Up.
Yeah.
But a big ass the plug is coming, you think they're gonna Turn It Up in the mix 9 times out of 10?
Probably not. But
nobody know who that is.
Well, that's where as a DJ you gotta kind of I believe it or not, I'm actually taking risks in some cases.
Yeah.
Playing the local artists, because if your shit don't sound good, guess what? The manager is coming up to me and telling, "Hey, turn that shit off."
Exactly.
Now.
Well, that's why I salute Hypnotic, because when he was on Mozzie's show, his own mix was underground, but you couldn't tell.
Yeah.
You couldn't tell.
Yeah, I saw.
Unless you
clips
recognize the voices.
Yeah, I saw
but
clips
you
of that.
couldn't tell, and I was like, "That's dope."
So
I like that.
It does become a thing where you gotta, as an artist, you still gotta go in there and do it. Like I said, I don't mind taking a risk. You know what I'm saying? Because I do, like I said, I know we got greatness here in the city, and
but
I
you
want
also
us
gotta
to
know,
do it.
as a DJ, you know the difference between a club song or
Exactly.
non-club song.
Exactly.
Artists, not every song is a club song. Please don't come up to us saying, "Claim play this song," and it's not a club song.
Exactly. Some songs are just it just won't work like that.
It won't.
Sometimes you can push it, as such, and sometimes it's unintentional. It does happen to happen. It's whatever.
It's
you know
rare.
what I'm saying? It's rare, but it does happen. Okay.
Yeah.
But it's really, like I said, I lean more to a little bit on the artist on this side. Like artists, y'all got to start doing better with like connecting with different people.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that's really where they're too competitive for their own good in some cases. They want to do all this work, but then they don't want to. They want the results. They don't want to put in too much work. I'm like, bro, y'all can easily come into the clubs, man. Come into the club, like come into where I work at. I work at Diamond. You don't even have to come in and ball out all the way. You know what I'm saying? Come in with some money.
Then sometimes send a DM too. Like if I see artists, I know Hypnotic always when he's performing some DJing somewhere, he always said artists send me your music. He does that. Some DJs don't. If I see a DJ DJing somewhere, sometimes I inbox him and say, hey, I see that you DJing. If you do happen to get a chance, can I send you my song? If you mix it, you play it, you do. If you don't, you don't.
Yeah, yeah.
And that was free. That didn't cost me nothing.
Yeah.
He can say yes. He can say no.
Exactly. And
Easy.
Then also, just have some bread ready. You know what I'm saying? And if they do play it, hey, bro, appreciate you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like even if it's like, hey, just a little bit. You ain't gotta. And then that way you build that rapport, and everybody's like, okay, cool. I don't mind it. You know what I'm saying? Because that can also sometimes a lot of artists also don't understand, like at the DJ, when you're DJing in that moment, what's going on. Because when I'm in work mode sometimes, bro, like I try to be respectful to everybody, but when I'm in work mode, I'm in work mode. Because sometimes like I'm dealing with like a lot of dancers. Man. I'm dealing with like, hey, I got to keep the rotation going. So I'm like, hey, an artist might come up to me when we're busy. It's
hard to talk. You got to know when to talk to.
I got you, bro. Okay.
I feel like you got to know when to talk to the DJs. You don't be coming up there when they're busy.
Yeah.
That's happened to me at Epic Bar one time. I was DJing. I was trying to get the artists' music together. They were telling me what songs they wanted me to download, and this guy was like, play my song now. I was like, give me a minute. Now. Like, he was like, military, play my song now. He paid me $100 to play a song. Yeah. I was like, I'll get to it. I took the money. I finally got to it. I played it. It was trash. He was from Houston. But I also let him know, too, like, if I take this $100, I don't want you to think nothing else going to happen. I'm just playing your music. Because sometimes they can think other stuff. Yeah. Being a female DJ, I'm I'm only playing your music. Luckily, nothing else happened. But the fact that it's not that I wasn't gonna play your song. I never said I wasn't gonna play your song. I said just give me a minute. I'm with
you're
someone.
Busy. Yeah, you're busy.
But he made it seem like I wasn't gonna play his song.
Yeah,
I should have not played it. It was trash. But hey, 300.
Some people don't realize. Like you got to realize, you got to be able to take your time, and that's also part of the thing too. Because like that can also be a bad on on that artist. Like if you over here rushing and not promoting or whatever, even if you are paying. Yeah. So I don't care. Sometimes I don't care if you pay me. You know what I'm saying? If I'll tell you, especially if an artist comes to me or like if management comes to me and says, hey, don't play any more rap for like the next 10 minutes right now.
Yeah.
I don't care what you tell me.
I'm not playing rap.
Yeah, exactly. And I've had to tell that to the dancers too. I'm like, sometimes management will tell me, hey, can we switch it up? Because, hey, we don't like that. Like something, we feel like something about to go down. Yeah. The vibe right now is getting a little too hostile. We got to switch it up. Okay, cool. I have no problems. All right, cool. Because at the end of the day, the dancers didn't hire me. The management did. So when management says, hey, can we switch it up a little bit? I got you. Sometimes it's only for a little bit anyway. Just switch it up 5-10 minutes. Give them time, and then we'll come back.
What's up with strip clubs down here? Trying to be like ATL, but not like ATL in Miami. Charging for parking.
Oh, you're talking about one club in particular. I know which one you're talking about, too. Sorry. I'm sorry, that slipped. My bad. Yeah.
And not only charging for parking, charging like so much for the back, so much for the middle, so much for the front.
Especially if they ain't got it like that.
You got to charge to get in, too? I know he spent $100 and I ain't even made it in.
That's crazy.
I don't even want to tip. I can't even tip the stripper. I didn't spend all my tipping money trying to get in.
That's why you got to get in early. But
even when you get in early, let's say you don't pay cover when you get in early, they still charge for the parking.
It depends on where you're at. But like I said, it's really depending on where you're at. I know which club you're talking about, but that's why they're not in the best position right now.
They've been in that since forever.
Exactly. That's when you and like I said, I don't mean any disrespect when I say it like this, but it's just purely off of observation, because like if the management reputation is important. I'm just gonna put it like this, right? If you have a bad reputation, and this is exactly where it is right now. The reputation is so bad to the point where if he's that owner's even mentioned of that club, they don't want to fuck with it.
Oh, of course. Not just that, promoters
don't want to fuck with it.
No. Promoters that's been there has been so bad that they don't want to mess with those promoters too. Anything associated with that.
Yeah, and it's like, bro, you got to be careful with stuff like that. And you know, you gotta, at some point you don't want to listen to what everybody's got to say at some point, because you know, people always be talking.
Yeah.
But then at some point you do have to take some time to listen and say, okay, you know, what can I do to improve here? You know, it's like eating these wings. You know, sometimes you got to eat the meat and spit out the bones.
Oh Lord.
I just had to do that.
PSA. I want the camera on me, Mr. Guyline. PSA. You are a kid if you eat boneless wings.
Okay, I'm sorry.
That is childish.
No, it's not.
That's
No, it's
like
not.
going to a
No, it's not.
5-star steak restaurant and ordering chicken strips.
No,
Because I didn't want to do that in front of the camera. Outside the camera, I'm a savage. No, I am. I suck the bones. But on camera, you got to be presentable. But that's like going to a...
yeah, I heard him.
What did he say?
Yeah, I bet you do. I bet you do.
That's
what I said. I said
wrong
you bet you do.
podcast. Wrong podcast. But that's like going to a 5-star steak restaurant and ordering chicken strips.
Hey, and some of those be the best chicken strips too. While you playing, I'm telling
Childish.
you. Hey, you can say whatever. Bring me my baby bottle while you at it, because I'll eat them chicken strips. Be good. I got you, big dog. I got you. I'm sticking up for you. I got you. I told you I got you.
Of course, men gonna stick together. I heard
got to. You heard
that you're getting back into music. You're finally getting back into music.
Yeah, I am.
Taking a step.
I'm trying. I'm doing it. I'm doing it. I'm trying not to let that doubt get back to me. But yeah, I am actually. I actually sent you something for you to check out. You know, it's a little premix. It's not done. A little something. You know, a little something. Getting back into it. A little storytelling. You know, not necessarily.
So for people
my
who
story.
don't know, it's not Christian music.
No, it's just in general.
You took away from.
I still believe it. So let me make this clear. I gotta make this clear for you.
Yeah.
And for everybody else. Just because I don't go to church, it doesn't mean I don't believe in God.
Yeah.
Okay. So I gotta make sure. I clear, because I know you know that. I know that. You know, some people just think that, you know, oh, you stop going to church, you stop believing in God. My mom thought that at one point too, but I'm like, no, I still keep the word in my heart.
Yeah.
I just, you know, do my best to apply it, you know, and try to give people,
Yeah,
you know,
there's
treat
other
people
ways
the other
to
way.
get the Lord without going to church. You don't always have to go to the temple.
Yeah, exactly. You know, streaming if I feel like it, you know, meditation.
What can
prayer,
people get from your new sound?
The new sound is going to be, I want it to be as authentic as possible. This project that I have
100%
planned.
producer made?
Producer made, yes. I do have a couple of producer friends that hooked me up, or actually I supported them. Actually, I pay for my beats. I don't.
No, but I get what you
know
mean.
Yeah, they hooked me up. Yeah,
work
collaborate
together.
Yeah,
So
we
it's
work
not
together,
all
yeah.
you.
Yeah,
Okay.
but
Any producers we know?
one of them actually, Vision actually.
Okay,
he makes beats too. So I was like, let me get one. It's a Vision. Let me get one of your beats, big dog.
Is this the one I heard or no?
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
That's actually from somebody else.
Do you have a release date?
Not yet. I'm working on it. I'm working on it right now. I got the project. I got the beats done.
You haven't recorded everything yet.
I
You're
haven't
still in the
recorded
process.
it. Yeah, I'm still recording right now. So I'm
Okay.
trying not to like overthink it, overdo it. You know, the usual.
Are you more on your Lecrae road, or are you tempted to go back to Christian? Or not at all?
Lecrae? What do you mean by that?
You know, Lecrae is not Christian no more. He considers himself like inspirational now.
I want this to be, this project in particular is going to be a little bit more, I want it to be more, how do I put this? This project is going to be a little bit more, I wouldn't necessarily say inspirational per se. I want it to be
Well, you
more.
might inspire someone. You telling your story.
It might. But I want it to be something where people, like especially men, can understand, because right now we're at a spot where mental health is a thing.
Yeah.
And especially with men in mental health, it's been a really big issue with men. Like we're making some kind of strides somewhere, but it's really not enough. Like for every 2 steps we make, we get the same 2 steps back in some cases, and it's like it's weird. Like and I don't like that. And that's kind of the challenge for me making this project, is because like I'm not in that headspace where I was.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to like write this, and I'm low key like pulling myself back in that headspace, and I'm like, oh, I don't like this, but I gotta do it because it's something that I've been sitting on for a while, and it's not necessarily gonna be like how Christian rap is. Oh, I used to be this, but God this, and that.
Yeah.
Like no, it's the way I'm gonna describe this project, and maybe next time we'll probably talk once I get the project more put out. We'll talk about it more of it. It's going to be like I said, it's basically called a reboot. That's the name of the project plan. The plan of the project is called Reboot.
Okay.
And it's going to be where
Reboot your life.
you're rebooting your life.
sound.
My sound, not only my life, my sound, but it's also going to be like the mentality. It's going to start from one end. This is going to be it's planned to be a 2-part project.
Okay.
Basically a 2 double EP. The first one is going to be the red disc and a blue disc. It's
like
kind
the
of
red
like
pill, blue pill.
yeah,
type
something
thing?
like the Matrix reference.
Yeah.
So you think of the color red, you think of like life, high energy, but it's also like aggression, anger, that type of thing. And that's what this project is going to kind of encapsulate a little bit of.
Okay.
So yeah, that's the plan for this.
Okay, I like that. Can't wait for it to come out.
Yeah,
I'm
gonna keep you
happy
posted.
that you are still doing music, that you
Yes,
didn't give up totally.
No,
Now I know I won't say maybe the second interview we talked about this. How like sometimes the church try to meet the youth where they're at. I told
Yeah.
you how they played the swag surf and the
Yeah,
walk it
I
out.
remember
So I saw a church recently for Easter.
Uh-oh.
They started off with the first part of the swag. Then I got the swag.
Yeah.
My hat matches
It's
my
not bad,
then when it got hype, it went into I love God.
Yeah.
I was like, that's how
Okay.
you do it.
Okay.
I feel like that's how you do it.
Okay.
They took off the hypnotic, the exotic,
A polo on my body. Yeah.
took that part out.
Yeah.
which I like that. You can
Okay.
start off like swag surfing is not bad.
Right.
That part.
Right.
And then he mixed it with the I love God. I like
Yeah.
that.
Okay.
And you can still meet the youth where they're at.
Okay. I
Because
can see that.
love that love God. So I like that
Yeah.
mix. But when you
Still
I
keep
don't
it
know.
going.
I feel like
I don't know.
there's a
It's-
line between the world and the I get it, you want to meet the youth where they at.
Yeah.
Like I love all these mixes. I see these DJs where they mix like a gospel song with a hip hop beat. I like that.
Yeah, I seen that
Because
one.
it's just the hip hop beat, it's not the words. So I kind of
Yeah,
get that.
yeah,
I
I
like
seen a
that.
couple of
And the
those.
youth understands it. They know.
They
I
like it,
like
yeah.
that. That's different. You
Yeah.
meet them where they at, but you still praising God. But
Okay.
when you do too much hip hop, I feel like there's a line. Like I feel like Kirk Franklin started off with a little bit,
Yeah.
and now I feel like he overdoing it. Cause I seen him perform. You can't tell me Imagine Me requires you to do all this.
Yeah. Yeah. Sauce it up. Go ahead.
Like Imagine Me is a slow song. Like
Yeah, nah,
it does
nah, I
not
get it.
require you to do all that.
I think
and then the way he dresses sometimes nowadays, I'm just like
I don't know. I think because Kirk Franklin's had a history of
Well, yeah,
had a weird history of some stuff, man. Like a lot of stuff was going on with him, so
I get it.
he out there. Him, I remember when
but he's not the only one that does that, Tony. But there's other bishops,
B-Slade,
pastors. There's other pastors who try to like meet the youth where they at. I get it. You want to bring the youth in,
Yeah.
but is that going to keep them in? Because my thing is like, yes, it's going to bring them in, but they're going to be like, well,
What's the difference?
because I was doing this outside. What's the
Depends.
difference? You right? If I can do it out there, and I can do it in here.
Right. It depends. Well, they're probably trying to give us a spot where it's controllable and you can kind of like adjust and like wean them off of it or something like that. That's just my guess. But this is something that has been like, if anybody that's done like any kind of music research or like in general,
Yeah.
this is a battle that's been going on for centuries.
Mm-hmm.
Since like I want to say Dark Ages, probably before then, because of music or the first records of music, if memory serves me correctly, when I was doing music theory, was in the church, like was all completely church music, and we're talking about like before instruments were involved. We're talking straight up vocals, like Gregorian chants. That's how far back my knowledge goes, y'all. That's how far back my knowledge goes of this stuff. And some of those Gregorian chants are like beautiful,
Yeah.
but then somewhere along the line, people started realizing that, hey, look, we could use it. We can, use music to express ourselves in other ways. So, like I said, it really depends on the expression. Like it's really up
And
to
your
you.
intent behind it.
Your intent behind said expression. I think it's okay. Like I said, as long as because people use music to go to war.
Yeah.
And people even in biblical times, you had people that were using music to go to war. You know what I'm saying? There verses in the Bible that outline that stuff. So I'm like, it's a tool. You know what I'm saying? It's all on how you use it and what you're using it for. And to kind of circle it back to my project, that's one of the reasons why I stopped doing with church, because I always felt like limited. Like you couldn't really express yourself. You know what I'm saying? You really couldn't. You didn't really have anything to express yourself outside of if it wasn't mentioning God every 5 seconds. You know what I'm saying? If it wasn't so and so in the so and so mass choir.
Oh.
I used to.
Not the mask
Go-
part.
Man, I'm telling you, the only people that got away with it, and that made it sound really good at the time,
Mississippi.
was John P. Key.
Oh yeah.
John P. Key, Fred Hammonds. Those were the two.
Yeah.
Those were the two that really made it like cool because they would do studio cuts. You know, and the studio cuts, especially John P. Key studio cuts, was really good.
Commission.
Oh man.
Commission was Commission is the gospel of Jodeci.
Yo, I didn't even think about it like that. You right.
They are.
You right. Commission is the gospel Jodeci.
Forever and ever.
Because that was before. That
well,
was when.
Well, you know Jodeci. Well, you know KC started off with the KC Haleys, and they sung in the church.
Okay.
So they had their own little commission group that sung in the church, and then he broke off. So that's why he got his roots from the church.
That's where Commission.
He started off with a quartet.
Commission is also where Fred Hammond came from, correct?
And what's his name? The one that sings "Never Would Have Made It."
Sapp, Marvin Sapp.
Oh, and one other person too. Fred Hammond, Marvin Sapp, and
what's his name? I don't remember his name.
But yeah,
I remember that.
A couple people who came from Commission.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's because KC started off with a quartet.
Yeah,
and then he broke off. So yeah, that.
Yeah, it was. I think that's what it's the soul of it too. Because like I said, it brings out the soul of the music. Because like, don't get me wrong, like I still go back to some gospel tracks like. Fred Hammond, some of Fred Hammond's older joints is really good. John B. Key's got some good stuff.
Well, I think Fred Hammond said, so in that song, No Weapon, God gave it to him. He wanted verses. God said no verses.
Yeah.
But he said, I need a bridge.
Yeah.
He said, I'm going to add a bridge. So he added a bridge, and the tune of the bridge is from Boyz II Men, I Make Love to You. The part where he goes, and I hold you close.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Yeah. Yeah.
No Weapon.
Wow. That's crazy.
I can't sing no, but yeah.
That's wild. You're right.
If you listen to it, that's what he said. He said he took it from Boyz II Men. So,
so I'm so they're taking from each other. Like, I mean, I don't. So what's the issue? Like, that's what it boils down to. And it's like you got older people that are like so stuck in their ways. But then these are the same older people that'll be doing a whole line dance on the family picnic. You know what I'm saying? So
my mom's too old school.
You know what I'm saying? They'll a electric slide. The electric slide come on, or let the you make me happy. All that come on. They be
So for the artists who say, I saw this interview, I want to connect with you.
Okay.
Where can they connect with you? Give us your social medias and the email they can send songs to.
Okay.
Give us all that.
All of it. Okay. Well.
But fun fact.
If
you send a song to info@dojodjs.com, we all get it. You still get it?
I don't think so. But hey, I know you'll send it to me. I believe it.
But we all get it.
We all get it.
We're gonna put you back on it. We gotta get you back on the list. But 3-4 DJs get it. So that's one way you could do it. Kill a whole bunch of birds in one stone.
There you go.
Boom, boom, boom. But yeah, give us your information so people can link up with you.
But if you want to link up with me directly, you can. 210LG, that's 210LG on almost everything. That's YouTube, Twitter, or X now, whatever they want to call it.
Mm-hmm.
Instagram is a little bit different.
I can't
210. I don't blame you. 210_LG on Instagram.
And the email?
And the email is lgilmer2009@gmail.com. That's LGILMER 2009@gmail.com.
You can tell you had that for a long time.
Yep.
That email.
Bro.
Man, I'm going to tell you why I can't stand X. I was trying to make a post.
Uh-oh.
I copied and pasted my same little, what's it called? Description from Instagram. They're like, to type more, you have to pay. To do this, you have to pay. X is making you pay for almost everything now, and I just hate it. That's why I barely use it. I was like, let me post on X just to get more engagement. I barely use it. And I was like, I see why. Every little thing they want you to pay for.
You
want to share this content?
Yeah,
pay for the subscription. You want to like this post? Pay for the.
You get more that way. It depends on how much you use it. If you don't use it that much, you don't have to.
I'm not paying for it. I don't use it that much, but it's stupid, ridiculous. But you heard it. LG 210 DJ LG. Check him out where?
You can find me. Ooh, man.
No, I mean like what strip club?
Strip club. Oh, Diamonds.
Diamonds. Yeah. Check him out at Diamonds. Monday through Friday. Friday through Monday. Saturday, Sunday. I don't know what days.
I'll let y'all know. My schedule's there. That's why you got to follow me on social media to know when I'm there.
What days he's there.
But I will be there this Wednesday.
Wednesday? That's
for
tomorrow.
Sure. Huh? That's tomorrow. Yeah.
Tomorrow he'll be there. Check him out. Nighttime. Diamonds. LG. New album coming out. EP coming out soon. Make sure you stay tuned. U3. And we
LG.
out.
Yes, sir.
And this interview will come out.